Round of 16, Group B. Maru, Solar, sOs, Dream. 2021 GSL Season 3, Codex. Africa TV Free Cup Studio Live. 2021 GSL Season 3.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to have the rematch here of sOs versus Dream. It was a pretty dramatic fight these two had earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Artosis
it's realistically
seems to
the closest of the night.
Yeah, Artosis is feeling sOs. I'm thinking more Dream.
Yeah.
And it's weird for me to say that. I'm usually always expecting sOs to advance, but in the last couple of GSL seasons, I've had to come to terms with the fact that, like, this is not the sOs that won. They're not the same sOs that won the 2 World Championships.
Last couple of years of GSL, realistically, he's been weak.
That's the thing. I understand a bad year here or there, but
I think he's in great shape right now, Tasis, and I thought he was going to win the group. I think he's going to get second now. That's only because the win the group is off the table. Yeah, I think he's in great shape, and honestly, I can see him getting top 4 this season.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
Yeah, well, first he's got to beat Dream, which he already lost him once, so who knows?
All right, let's see what happens, guys. sOs versus Dream, Game 1, the final best of 3 of the night. The winner goes on to the round of 8.
GSL Season 3, Codex. Team Envy, sOs. Good Game Gaming, Dream.
All right, Nautilus is our first map once again. And sOs scouting counterclockwise like we did previously, so unfortunately won't be finding Dream too quickly, so
Won't
probably
have that
no
gas steal. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, right? We'll see what his other plan was. You can't count on scouting your opponent first.
Yeah, I'm glad we have maps like this back in the pool. It is cool to see how StarCraft games at the highest level unfold when you have more than one starting location.
Yeah, I think it adds an interesting element, and honestly, I think the ladder should have a 4-player map at least. But
I think so.
The thing is, I think people would veto it so heavily that it would be like,
well, that's the
probably just PvPs on the map.
It's funny because StarCraft did not start out like that, but
yeah,
in the end, that's what we've got. It's why proxies are so common in StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
Where when it happens in StarCraft 1, because there are so many 4-player or 3-player maps in StarCraft 1, it doesn't happen as much.
Well, looks like a very fast command center here. 1 Marine into a reactor. Probe going to find Dream last. Of course, the Nexus already going as well. Probe has to turn around immediately.
Yeah. So we're going to have a different game. I don't think we can count on the Colossus coming up, in a War Prism that's got speed or anything like that. That's
certainly
most likely not going to be what happens here. But we should point out that, sOs, he sometimes outdoes himself with the fanciness, but he's still got the innovative approaches that, make people such fans of his play.
Twilight's coming. So I guess what we really have to do is see what this Twilight is going to entail, because I think it could be multiple things. Let's see if a Robo drops down pretty quickly here. Maybe could possibly be a DT drop, but looks right now like it'll probably be Blink. Oh no, there's the Robo. Well, it still can be Blink. We'll see. Hold on 1 second here.
Okay, takes that 1 Adept out. Yeah, a lot of the setup that Dream has over at his base is kind of similar to what we had in the game that they played at before.
And it is a Dark Shrine.
Dark Shrine, okay.
Yeah, so the DT drop, and obviously this is a build that can just kind of randomly win the game as soon as the DTs get out if there's just no scan in sight.
Yeah.
And he's playing against the 3-Rex play. So it's going to be mostly Marines trying to stop it, which means the follow-up Archon drop can do a good job as well.
That's right. Got to be careful not to drop those DTs needlessly, though, or lose that Warp Prism. Again, just using that Adept to basically confirm the behavior of the Terran here. So the combat shields and stim, excuse me, start up here. But the Warp Prism's about to come out and be across the map. There's going to be a little period of time where there will not be stimmed Marines. The DTs will still be able to do damage. It's important to keep in mind how much slower Marines are in every sense without stim. So it makes it a lot easier to avoid any real risk here.
That's a funky looking wall he has there too.
Yeah, weird wall-ins here.
They are weird wall-ins, but that's okay. All right, here we go, man. The Prism is going across the map.
Now, there's a chance Terran doesn't turn around right away.
Oh.
So Terran's come back.
Yeah, splits the DTs immediately, which is exactly how you need to do it. Oh!
Yeah, that was bad by SOS.
Yeah, he could have gotten a couple more kills there, but he is nailing the natural right now.
Yeah, the reactor's going to
go.
go down, but the turret is done over at the Nat, and I mean, I guess you have to have something here to attack this DTC, and it doesn't make it go away.
Yeah, back set up for now. Immortal on the way as a follow-up, a Forge coming out too, so it looks like a macro game going to be what SOS goes for. That's like kind of a pretty standard follow-up, like an older school's follow-up to something like a DT drop to just pump an Immortal out to make sure you don't die.
Yeah.
Give yourself a little bit of more muscle with your army.
Ooh, nice pickup.
Yeah, look at that.
Good save, burning through a scan. So Blank is coming, that Forge is about to finish up, but Terran really hasn't had too many scratches this game, you know.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I mean, I think the DT drop wasn't a failure, though.
No, I think it kept Terran honest, and
yeah.
Now we're going to have the Archons be made over here. There's one. We might have another 2 DTs warped in to get the double Archon action here.
Yeah.
And this kind of harass is a little bit different. This is one where you can head-on fight the Marines as long as you don't mismanage the Warp Prism.
Which I think you'll be fine on.
Wow, yeah, some of these Archons with the splash. Had you connected that shot over when they're stacked up like that, it would have been huge. And as long as you don't lose the Archon, you can let the shields get to basically 0 and then pull away and let it recharge.
Yeah, it heals up so quickly.
You know,
of course, a second Archon there would have done a lot more damage, but even one is okay. Oh, no!
No!
Well, that's not good. Now, I think he's still probably okay. He's got a decent amount of shield batteries. He has sentries. So if he nails force fields, oh, he can't quite overcharge. So that's a little bit scary. But with double immortal, I could see a force cancel here.
Here we go.
Oh, it's not moving in. That's a lot of damage output.
The immortals are on the outside too.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, he's got to pull this back a little bit further.
The force fields just have to be really good here, I think.
Yeah, but if you mismanage that, whoa, why are those stalkers alone? Now Blink's about to finish. He's going to pick up with half. He's going to head up towards the main.
Yeah, I guess if he has his full army sitting there, there's no reason not to go. You know that's his whole army.
And if you don't have stalkers with this army, it's just some sentries and an immortal or two, I think the infantry can kill that too. Now, immortals are not good if they're just isolated alone. So he comes in here.
Oh, I think he has his stalkers sitting up in the main base.
He could unpower that one pylon.
Oh god, he runs away after the scan. Oh, okay, he comes back up. That's a lot of stalkers. Yeah, I mean, he should just be able to hold this, right?
Yeah, SOS is making this look easy.
Especially as that immortal popped out.
Oh, and now Dream is going to lose a few more units over here. I like the idea, but I'm worried that Dream has hemorrhaged too many units in too many spots, and now basically SOS can probably just have some pretty straightforward counterplay.
Yeah, very solid hold from him overall. Going into DT Blink, getting charge, +2 attack. He did lose his Cybernetics core. So actually, that might be what saves Dream from a counterattack here.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have charge. Like, if you have charge here, you can just warp and zealots off all your gates, and you're like, well, I was going to do that anyways. But
yeah.
Here, it's like slow zealots are your reinforcements, and that's not necessarily the strongest thing.
Yeah, it does happen from time to time that the core is picked off, and that is really important tech. You know, it's easy to forget because you usually make it early on and then use it for a little bit with the upgrades there, but you do need that for the entire game.
Getting up into that Colossus tech now. Seen him really favoring it here today.
With the Terran on the third base, it's very possible that you know, he can actually attack in the front while warping in over here into the main. So he sends just one Zealot.
Yeah, actually brings the medevac over. I think that there's mines in there right now. And just forces it out. Decent harassment going on. Ghosts already being made. Another thing I really like about Dream's play, he doesn't wait to see High Templars to make his ghosts.
Yeah, he basically preempts that by getting the ghosts out right away. And SOS still sits and waits.
Yeah.
Continuing to develop his tech tree. We've got Thermal Lance starting while DT Blink is finishing.
Dream going through the middle right now. More Colossi about to pop out.
So again, you know, a very conservative game from SOS. I mean, basically just staying back, not risking anything. Dream has come out a couple times on the map in this game that's mostly been focused in this upper third layer of the map. You know, we haven't had anybody throw a base down here at the bottom anywhere in the middle. Nobody's expanded off of their platform that you default on.
Yeah, no, not yet. I think that can break wide open as they kind of start to complete the armies that they have out.
Bit of a chase here on this War Prism. Looks like the Vikings should be able to catch it, as we're going to have Terran take the fourth base. Protoss should be taking their own fourth pretty soon here, up at 12 o'clock.
And, well, I mean, I got to say, I like how SOS is playing it, where he's just kind of continuing to upgrade and build his robo units, right? Like, look at this. He's starting to add Immortals in. That's going to add so much muscle to his army overall. Now, over on the side of Dream, he has added the second starport, which is good to see. That's going to give him a higher probability of being able to actually fight the army, because that has been a little bit of an issue for him, right? Where he's running around with, like, it's so bio-heavy, he's not really able to fight the heavy gateway unit, or robo units.
Yeah.
Disruptors being added in. Damn, that is one sturdy and solid army from SOS.
Yeah. It's a pretty sophisticated tech army that he's got right now.
A lot of Vikings being added. Very different from Dream. It's really refreshing to see. I was afraid that he was just going to be Mr. Marine Marauder all day,
yeah,
right?
Just go with infantry and try to get really good flanks.
Yeah, but he's about to have like 8 Vikings or 9 Vikings, something like that, and that's going to be a much healthier amount to fight these Colossi. There's 4 of them, so...
Oh, I guess we're just going to catch the tail end of that. Now, this is pretty big. It seems like out of nowhere, suddenly Dream just takes that base while distracting SOS at his third. And this is pretty bad. I mean, Protoss do need to be keeping up with the Terran here.
Sick EMPs there, and he actually deals a lot of damage to the army. SOS running back.
Those Widow Mines are still there.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they haven't been dealt with. I don't get it.
Oh, God. Yeah, he needs to get over there. Does he have an observer with this army? I don't believe that he does.
I mean, clearly not, if he's waiting for the cannon to finish, basically, to do anything. And it does end up killing off 8 probes.
Ouch.
And Terran's going to push up here again. Now, he's going to blink on this CC. But Dream's reacting pretty fast.
Yeah.
And if he can kill off, I think, one more DT, it's going to be enough to repair.
Yeah, we'll see.
No,
it looks like he did
it.
end up killing it, yeah. In the meantime, a full frontal assault here, but Immortals holding it down. DTs being split up all over the place. Big losses on SCVs, but Dream's economy is still fine, I think. SOS still sitting here on just 3 bases. More disruptors being added in, and ooh, I love it. 4 Liberators coming up.
Wow.
Really nice.
So he's thrown another command center in over here. There's one DT still hiding down here. You got to watch for that. Right now, it's a lot of tension built up here. 3 base versus 3 base. Dream is maxed. SOS not far away from that either.
And I gotta say, yeah, SOS can fill up his supply relatively quickly. He does have a little bit of a bank here as well. But you know what I like about what we see here from SOS? It kind of reminds me of the way Patience plays, where it's like, yeah, he doesn't have that many bases. Yeah, he lost that Nexus at 12 o'clock.
Whoa!
But he continues to build the sophistication of this army. Now, unfortunately for him here, those Vikings come in and clear all the Colossi, but he does still have Disruptors and Immortals.
Yeah, but he's without the Colossi there, he can zone him away, and he's going to take out this 12 o'clock base again. And even though Dream has had some interruptions there in soaking up all the minerals at the 3 o'clock spot, he has gotten back on to where he needs to be, and now Terran's going to push in and push in hard.
Yeah, those Liberators are going to be a big problem for him right now. Throwing out Disruptor shots, which will do a decent job here, but he doesn't have enough anti-air to actually kill off the Liberators.
Yeah, he shoots down that one Disruptor. The Immortals, if they overstep, they're going to eat a lot of Liberator shots. And he could just basically run into the natural. Look at this.
Oh, man. Lance's Vikings, interesting choice. Ooh, big Disruptor shot there, but dealing a lot of damage in the natural.
Something's happened at 3 o'clock again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Looks like he
Protoss
killed it
basically
off
stopped
once again.
mining there. Yep.
DT Zealot, all right. Okay, finally does push that back. Honestly, losing those probes doesn't matter that much because he has so few bases. His economy is not as affected as it looks like. And look at this, the Zealots and DTs come in.
Yeah, blinking behind, but they are shot down. Meanwhile, as that's happening, these Liberators coming in here and just doing so much damage.
Oh my god, how do you even deal with that? He can't, honestly. Like, even if he got, like, Aryans to try to deal with it, there's so many Vikings ready to jump up. Yeah, you know what? I think he did it. Dream put out an awesome game here. SOS trying to get under here and actually engage, but simply doesn't have enough anti-air to clear that many Liberators.
Yeah, it seems like Dream has dismantled SOS enough. That's it. GG. Dream takes game 1.
Yeah, that was well done. He really utilized a lot of that endgame tech that we haven't seen from him yet.
Yeah.
And that's... like, we don't see enough Terrans do that. So many people just stay on the more mobile Bioforce, and then they get shredded by the Robo units. But here, he made enough Vikings to clear the Colossi, and if you don't have the Colossi, it's way harder to fight against Liberators. So he got into the Liberators and just kind of zoned everything out.
It was actually a really fun game to cast. You could kind of see this moment where, you know, nobody's able to just keep a 4th base up for very long, and the 3rd base is going to mine out soon. But really good position that Dream got there. And you can see he's just catching SOS. The split second SOS isn't watching. You know, StarCraft 2, really, you can lose the game in a few seconds because things are happening so fast.
All right, our next map going to be Oxide. Is Dream going to be able to advance to that round of 8, or can SOS tie it up?
Let's find out. Our game is loaded. It has loaded up. SOS versus Dream, game 2.
GSL Season 3, Codex. Team Envy, SOS. Good Game Gaming, Dream.
Of course, the winner of this match plays Zest in the round of 8.
Yeah. Who do we want to... I would really like to see SOS versus Zest, actually.
That would be really nice. Well, Zest took out Trap PvP.
Yeah.
And SOS has some wild PvPs.
Well, I feel like PvP is still SOS's best matchup.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, I think his PvZ this season is looking really sharp as well.
Yeah, it's looking very good. That is true.
Although Dream is doing awfully well against him. He's up 3-1 right now in TVPs against SOS, so we'll see if SOS can tie that score, then he can advance.
So, Yeah, I mean, we need to see SOS basically step up his PVT if he's going to win this. You know, a lot of Terrans are complaining about TVP lately. It's hard to beat Protoss, but it does seem like right now SOS does not seem to have a clear handle on that matchup. Like, he's good, but
I feel like he's getting himself every game into a good position.
Yeah, but he's not mechanically clean enough, it does seem. Like, a lot of that last game was just being fast.
Yeah,
especially that last game.
Some of his engages aren't going super well. I like it when you like just mass up gateway units, but I think he was spending a little bit too much, or not gateway units, robo units. But I think he was spending a little bit too much money with the fancy DT Blinken strats, where he's like trying to kill off the 4th base and everything like the planetary, and that's a great move. Like, there's certain situations where that is amazing, but if it doesn't fit as well in that type of game, right, where you have mass robo units, like what you need to do there is protect them. If you keep your robo units alive, over time they grind Terran down really, really well.
Yeah, that's in fact one of the easiest ways to describe how to win a game against the Terran is to just keep the robo units alive.
Yeah, that's
as long as you're playing.
It's like literally the only thing Patience does, and he smashes Terrans.
Yeah, yeah.
The guy loses every base, every gateway unit, all his probes, but he's like, oh, but I've been pumping 2 robos nonstop,
well,
bro.
My Immortals have not been killed.
Yeah.
We're staying true to the name.
But, yeah, I feel like maybe if he had added more Stalkers to his army, he could have kept the, you know, it made the Vikings have a harder time against his Colossi. The Liberator switch wouldn't have been so deadly. Yeah, sometimes he gets a bit too fancy. It's definitely a thing with him.
Man, I hope we have a game 3 here for this final best of 3. It just seems like, I don't know. You know, I don't know what happened to SOS. It's weird because he was so insanely dominant, and it's not like there's people that have been dominant in the past that can't dominate now, like Rogue. How long has Rogue been amazing, right?
Quite a time.
But it does seem like, and I don't know, I'm going to say this out loud, I don't know if I totally believe it, but I want to throw an idea out into the ecosystem, is that, you know, every day, I don't want to say the game's figured out, but we're learning more and more about the game, right?
Okay.
And every GSL, every tournament everywhere, it's kind of all going into this giant set of meta knowledge that everybody that plays or competes and watches is kind of learning, right? We're all learning together. And it seems like SOS, for some period of time, was so far ahead of the curve that he was able to make plays that we just would never see anybody but him do. And he might, some of these plays you can only do once.
Sure.
But it, you know, the game's been out for a long time now, and even though SOS clearly still has ideas that are worth, you know, discussing and casting and testing to see if they can win games, he is not able to deliver the kind of results, right? Everybody's improved enough that it's harder to trick him, it's harder to throw him off.
Yeah, I totally see what you're saying. Yeah, players like him do lose value over time most of the time.
Yeah.
You know, the longer we're in any situation, defensive macro players rise to the top.
Yeah, whenever an RTS first comes out, it's usually the people that attack and are aggressive and rush that are the most dominant. But as years pass, it's the people that know how to get a third base safely that are the ones that are hard to beat.
Yeah. All right, so a lot of Blink Stalkers out right now against this 3-Racks opener.
Yeah, we saw Dream go with the pressure. He definitely made the right call by running back, especially when there's this many Stalkers.
For sure.
We don't get to talk about it very often, but Stalkers versus slow Marine, Stalkers are so much better because of the range that there's really no reason why you'd ever want to fight a lot of Stalkers with a lot of Marines ever.
Yeah.
Or fight a lot of Marines with a lot of Stalkers ever. Sorry.
Hallucinated Phoenix goes up and gets a good eye on exactly what it is. I think it's exactly what SOS thought it was anyways, but he gets that confirmation. He does have his third base up, 56 probes mining. Of course, his charge on the way. And there's definitely a big push coming. Oh, SOS. This is like the most important thing that you can't have happen.
What?
Yeah, that's shocking. You can see him shake his head.
I don't know what happened. I mean, that feels like...
I have no idea.
Looks like he was tabbed out of the game or something.
You just...
You ever had that where like a program's running and it closes your game and then you like...
Yeah.
You know, you come back and, well, I guess I lose. That is not how any game is supposed to go in a GSL.
No, that...
I don't even know what to say, man.
well, it's going to cost him. He's going to be out of GSL because of that one moment. Like, I mean, as soon as his scout went in, he knew exactly this was coming, like, exactly then, basically, right? As the two medevacs come out, he moves out. You see the starport blinking with a reactor on it.
Can't believe that. You've really just given so much freedom to the Terran.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a very tough moment. He has, you know, he has a force field, so let's see. I mean,
dude, he just dives in with these Marines.
yeah, and that was a good target down on the
See those
shield
Zealots
battery.
flying through there like ninja stars.
The cannon's doing some serious work there, I gotta say.
Yeah, seems like SOS is going to live a little bit longer here. Nice Zealot counterattack by him as well.
Imagine though if he had 7
these
more
mines,
stalkers.
these mines.
Wow. Okay, well, you know what? The Zealot counterattack actually doing a great job here as well. This is kind of surprising, honestly. When you lose 7 stalkers against this and then still are able to hold on like that.
Yeah, but there was this moment
attacked like
at
that.
the natural where he saw the force fields go up and he didn't pick up and pull away. He was like, no, I've got this.
Yeah.
And I think even in the back of his head, he knew that wasn't going to work. But he probably thought somewhere in his mind, like, I already killed so many stalkers, I should just win the game, right? And it's backfired. It's an overextension. And now we're getting a super all over the place game.
My God. Kind of wild that this is where we're at now. I thought for sure when he lost those 7 stalkers that it just wasn't going to be doable on a Dream, like you said. Definitely thought the same. But looking at it, even army supply, pretty close to even on the workers.
Yeah. And even though SOS made that mistake, I think Dream has made an even bigger mistake in return, basically fighting through a force field with his army, and I think SOS is still going to be fine. This game is not over, even though it looked like it was, you know, only a minute or 2 ago.
Yeah, depending on who wins this game, someone's going to be kicking themselves.
Yeah. So, SOS is setting up to take a 4th base. Keep in mind, since no player can really do anything to the other for the time being, they're going to go back into powering up. But it does seem like overall Dream was a little bit cleaner in, you know, game 1 and cleaner in the first series before that.
He's definitely a cleaner player than SOS.
Yeah.
SOS does tend on the sloppy side. It's just kind of his style.
Okay, he's going to keep pushing down here now. Dream looking for an opening. You know, with the Protoss expanding all the way to the bottom right, sometimes dropping in the main isn't a bad idea, at least forcing a recall.
Well, that Widow Mine drop may really catch him off guard if it hits at the right time.
Doesn't seem like he sees it.
Nice little mine there. Softens up the Zealots at least. Zealots are going to get in though. Oh, nice warp in here at the main base.
Yep, but he's doing a decent job of fighting it off. Meanwhile, 17, 18 SCVs already killed off here, and again, I just don't see why Terran's attacking here.
Well, he might feel like everything's falling apart and he needs to make something happen, but it's not working out for him.
No, 20 workers have been killed off. That's going to put SOS in the lead as far as, you know, having more workers mining.
Zealots out here getting sniped as Dream comes down to clean this up.
And it looks like the harass has basically been stopped. More workers are going to be produced. More mules are going to be landed here.
Yeah, lots of Colossi in production as SOS going to get that 4th base mining.
I feel like Dream needs to just be a little bit cleaner with his main army, you know?
Well, he's made a few attacks that haven't worked out, and the counters of SOS have been doing well. And the thing is, I think SOS is... Again, he's a little bit sloppy overall, but the ideas are very, very good. Like he's sitting on top of ramps next to shield batteries and cannons with a Colossus-based army that has force fields in it, and then he's sending in a prism and attacking the 3rd base with just charge lots on the ground. When you put all that together, if Dream screws up at all, he's in big trouble.
Okay, nice attack in here. And I think, again, as long as Dream can get in and then get out,
yeah,
he should be okay. You know, one of the ways the Terrans do take out Protoss is when they're looking pretty big and scary, is you're just in enough locations doing damage, because Protoss can't get to where Terran is as quickly. That's why they have that recall. But you can bait out the recall, then you've limited those options in the future. And basically, Dream has stayed aggressive enough that there's hardly any action on the other side of the map now.
You know, he tried that big drop in the main base, but Stalkers were waiting for him. Still a lot of production going down. SOS starting to push towards his 4th. Turns around after an EMP.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a long game, Artosis. I don't think anybody can attack the other realistically.
Yeah,
it's tricky for the Protoss now, because when you invest into the Colossus, it's hard to actually move across the map without a medevac dropping somewhere and drawing you back into defense.
Yeah, very true. He doesn't have like a clear path, I guess, right now. SOS has been keeping an eye on that, but actually I'm looking at the left side of the map, and I don't see anything spotting towards the main, so maybe if he tries something like that again. We did have a second starport added on for Dream, so might see him go into the Heavy Viking and maybe followed up with the Liberators that we saw like the previous game. Okay, nice playing forward here. I like this, very aggressively shredding some of this army.
Yeah, meanwhile, a big attack over here. This Immortal a little bit strayed out. Does manage to pick that off. The Vikings fire back at the Colossi, but he's going to have to regroup it again. Whoa!
Oh, man.
What?
Yeah. Dream
SOS is
just smashed there.
Yeah, just sandwiched that army. I think Dream completely unaware of the position he was in until it was too late. And now the push comes here from Protoss, but he's going to try to move through this bottlenecked area, and Terra could fight back pretty effectively.
Tries to snipe that Prism right there. Does let out its cargo, though. Man, that army of SOS, this little group of Marines and Marauders is not going to do anything against it. Nice hits from the Vikings, but SOS blinks forward, trying to get the hit off. Going towards that 3rd now.
You can see SOS, he's got a lot of pressure built up here. He just has to try to find an area to push in. The SCVs are pulled, and I think SOS is very smartly pulled away at the right moment. Look at where the Colossi are, very hard to hit. Yeah,
one of them actually hitting a geyser though, so not being that useful. Another round of Zealots come up to join the battle as well. Dream is taking the best fight he probably ever could here.
Yeah, well, SOS, again, he didn't quite control that well. Initially, it looked like the Colossi were in a good spot until one was hitting that refinery, like you said, Artos. It's a little bit of extra splash, and that infantry will melt. And what has been such a dramatic back and forth here, it does seem to be in the favor of Dream, at least for now.
Yeah.
Can Dream get down to this 4th base? He doesn't need to necessarily engage this army unless it's at an angle that is going to be good for him.
Yeah, I think he needs to kill the 4th in this situation because SOS, I think, doesn't quite die at the 3rd because of the batteries and cannons.
Yeah.
But if he just kind of keeps him back, hold on, though. He's pushing forward now. Taking down the battery with that overcharge. More Colossi did pop out, but they are taking a huge amount of damage here.
Oh my God, I think that might be the tipping point. The 2 Robos are here as well. If he unpowers that pylon, the Colossi disruptors, nothing's going to be coming out.
Absolutely. What a master class in Terran versus Protoss from Dream. Even when he makes some mistakes and loses a bunch of SCVs and a bunch of armies, somehow manages to take down such a Colossi and Immortal heavy army. He's going to take down the 3rd now. The 4th is behind this, so definitely something that he can try to attack as well. Lifts off the Vikings to chase back these the Colossus.
Yeah, well, that's a big win. It's unexpected that was the base he got. We were talking about that 4th the whole time.
Yeah.
But then when he basically saw that he could take that fight, that's when you take what you can get. And so we have this isolated 4th base. That's going to probably be the next target here for an attack from Dream, but SOS barely hanging on in this game. And I don't know, I mean, what is actually here to defend? It's like an Archon Colossus, and then just, Stalkers and Zealots.
It's a ragtag force. I mean, he's sniping Zealots right now to whittle it down. That shows you just how far ahead Dream is. He's up 50% as far as army supply goes. He's starting to add Liberators.
Yeah.
A remaking of the Robo here for SOS. He just, his army is just not that good here. Backs up to that battery. Battery doing a bit of work here. Runs out though.
Oh man, there's more infantry coming here. Again, if SOS loses this spot, it's over. One Colossus is not going to do the splash that he needs. That Archon is eventually picked off, and that's going to be it. Dream 2-0's SOS. GG. Dream will be in the pantheon of the final 8 in GSL.
Yeah, sad to see SOS fall. I feel like he's in pretty good shape this season. Overall, I think his ideas are really great, but his execution lacking a little bit. His attacks into Dream have not been that great, even when he gets ahead, which I feel like just about every game he was ahead at points. So definitely some mistakes. Back to the drawing board for SOS. Hopefully we'll see a better version of him in the Super Tournament.
Yeah, he's always going to have a special place in our hearts if you've been following StarCraft for a long time, but we're still waiting to see if he can ever, kind of show the greatness that was there before and do it while winning. I mean, he's always had smart plays. He's always been a good player. But, yeah, right now, not worthy of the round of 8. Let's go to that interview now with Dream. Let's see how he's feeling. Dream is done with his military service. He's clearly been playing a lot. Curious to see how he's feeling.
Another Terran player moves on to the round of 8. Dream defeats SOS. Congratulations, Dream. Thank you. So you defeat SOS twice today to move on to the round of 8. This is your round of 8 in 4 seasons. How do you feel? Well, I actually wanted to get out of the group as a second place, so I'm really happy. And I did have some trivial mistakes, but in the end, I was able to secure the win. The reason why you won in second place was because you wanted to avoid trap, right? Yes, that's right. I'm not saying Zest is an easy opponent, but Trap is a really hard opponent, so I wanted to avoid him. So you defeated SOS twice. So this is a perfect revenge match for your Super Tournament in which you lost to SOS. So what's today different for you, Dream? Well, at the time it was a 1v1, but this time there were 4 players in the group, so I was able to strategize well against him. So in the end, I'm really happy to have won. At the time, you kept using the 3 barracks build. So is this build really good for you? I feel like that's the most standard build for the Terran. And I feel like Byeon has the best builds for Terran players. And as Ben uses it, I use it too. Alright, let's talk about the first match. In GSL Nautilus, the SOS kept going for the Colossus drop and the DTs. But then you were able to Medivac drop at the right timing to secure the win. Throughout the match, the DTs came in every time, and I was shaking left and right. And sometimes I was on the back foot, but at the right timings, I was able to pull off the right strategies. Oh yes, that's right. In the winners match, you were easily defeated Maru with the Marus as well. So any disappointment? Well, in the first game, I did search the opponent, but in the second game, I excluded that, and that was my downfall. But I guess this was an old big plan for me to move on in second place. Well, you move on to round of 8 after 4 seasons. In Code, you went for the proxy 3 barracks cheese, and then you failed that, and you said you were fooled by parting. So what about this time? Well, this time I practiced in the ladder mostly.
편하게 하고 싶었어요. 항상
And this time, I really I wanted to emphasize playing comfortably.
생각하면서 그 스트레스 받는 게 너무 싫었거든요.
I hated getting stressed.
그냥 쉬면서 적당히 하면서.
So this time, I try to practice adequately and try to play comfortably. And as I said before, you'll be playing against Trap in the round of 8. And Trap is phenomenal at his PVT. So ahead of this match, anything you want to say?
일단은 항상
Well, first of all,
너무 많은 큰 서포트를 해주는 저희 팀 GSL
I'm always grateful to Good Game Gaming. They support me so much.
성우 형이 잘하는데
And Zest is a phenomenal player,
옛날만큼 단단함이 좀
but I don't think he's as formidable as Trap.
이길 수 있을 것 같고
So I think I can have a good chance of beating him.
별로 못하는 것 같아요 요새. 그래서 이길 수
I
있을
think
것
Zest is not in a good condition these days. He's not that good. Oh well, Dream boasting his confidence here. Once again, congratulations, Dream, on moving on to round of 8. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. All right, man. We've got half of the round of 8 set.
I know, yeah,
That's
that was
gonna
pretty
be-
quick, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's going to be it for Group B.
I gotta say, Tasteless, like,
Oh.
I guess I'm surprised with this group overall.
Yeah.
I thought the games overall were gonna be a bit better, a bit closer. I guess it's really Maru Dream and SOS Solar that kind of, they weren't really that close, you know? I thought it was gonna be like
Yeah.
a really long night.
So the Maru Dream, that was like so fast. It
Yeah.
was kind of, it was weird. I
was
feel
weird.
like the commercials in between were longer than the series almost.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, guys, there's a schedule change.
Yes.
C and D, the groups have been swapped,
Yeah.
and so we'll be.
It's gonna.
So if you come in next time and we're on Group D, you did not miss Group C. That's what we're trying to tell you. We'll remind you on the day of, but just in case. I know a lot of you watch every part of GSL, but some of you are just fans for certain players, so you can see the schedule there. But we'll be back Monday, Thursday, like we are every time.
That's right. We'll be bringing in Group D at that point. And, yeah, I mean, we'll continue to fill in this round of 8 bracket.
We'll continue casting the games.
That's right. Never believe that. Never gonna stop.
Yeah. Well,
Who do you think wins Dream vs. Cest?
I think Dream does.
Really?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do.
What about Trap Maru?
I mean, that's like
The
the $1 million
fans.
question. The fans,
The fans
do.
win that.
So here's what we've got for Group D. Dark Bunny, Beyond Parting.
You know what's the strangest feeling? Is looking at a group that deadly and feeling like Bunny's gonna make it out.
Yeah, well, Bunny's really gotten an amazing, had an amazing, I can't talk, had an amazing performance.
He's playing amazingly. You're definitely right about that. He looks like a top 2 Terran right now. So that is going to be a really fun group on Monday, guys. Do not miss that. It's like a bunch of everyone's favorite players. Parting
Yeah.
Beyond Dark. And then, like, Bunny is actually in sick shape and might be better
I
than
think Bunny's going to get a
couple of them.
lot of more fans in the years to come. Like,
Yeah.
he's really put the hours in. He's definitely been overshadowed by the
Yeah.
other Terrans, but dude, do not count him out. And of course, Parting playing, that's always fun.
Yeah. For me, actually, the biggest surprise in the group would be if Bjorn makes it out, which is really weird because I think he was playing very well a couple seasons ago, but it hasn't been as strong lately. And this group is deadly.
Yeah, I am looking forward to that. And again, I mean, I think the round of 8 sizing up to be really nice. I know we have a lot of these players that are, it's kind of hard to part with them, you know, because they have been so legendary in the past, but it's a different game here in 2021.
Yeah.
And I think you're right about Bunny. I think there's a very good chance he moves on.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like, these players are all super, super deadly. I think he's got an edge against Bjorn.
Yeah.
I think I'd give him almost even money against Dark. Parting, who knows? You never know what Parting's going to bring, but
He's
it's doable.
really been hungry for a GSL victory
Yeah,
here
that's true.
last
That's
year
true.
or two.
He's been practicing really hard, and it's been
Been
showing.
streaming a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be a great group, guys. Make sure you tune into that. It was a lot of fun today. Sad that SOS wasn't able to make it forward. I've really enjoyed his games this
I mean, you look
season,
at the
but
games and you got to say, yeah, you're not ready for the round of 8 right now.
Yeah, 2-time world champion. You're not ready for the round.
No,
of 8.
man, not in this year.
No, I guess not. That's the end of the story of that. Like maybe Super Tournament. That's the only tournament we have left after this one.
This is the last season of GSL for this year for our long form tournament. As you were saying, we have Super Tournament around the corner, but yeah, we've almost gone through the whole year for StarCraft 2.
That's weird. It's only September, but I guess that's always how it is. We always have to finish it up.
Yeah. Well, I think normally we're getting ready for BlizzCon.
Yeah.
This time of the year, but I don't know what's going to happen with that. Anyways, guys, we love you. Take care. We will see you on Monday for Group D. Bye-bye.